rumors are flying fast about Shannon Sharpe reportedly walking away from a massive $100 million deal, sending shockwaves through the sports media world. The NFL Hall of Famer turned media personality has built an empire with a sharp commentary and no-holds-barred approach, but this recent development has everyone talking, including some of the most outspoken voices in entertainment. The whispers about Sharpe's alleged $100 million fumble caught fire across social media before mainstream outlets could even verify the claims. For a man who made his fortune catching passes on the field and then parlayed that success into a lucrative broadcasting career, the idea that he might have left 9 figures on the table has left fans and industry insiders equally stunned. "Sometimes the biggest plays in life happen off the field," said one industry executive who preferred to remain anonymous. If these numbers are accurate, we're talking about a decision that would impact generations of his family. Sharpe himself remains tight-lipped about the specifics, which has only fueled more speculation. The former Denver Broncos and Baltimore Ravens star has transformed himself into a multimedia phenomenon, with his presence on Undisputed, with Skip Bayless helping to redefine sports debate television before his departure from the show. His Club Shay Shay podcast has become a cultural touchstone, featuring raw, unfiltered conversations that regularly generate headlines. When news of the potentially botched deal reached the ears of radio and television personality Charlamagne Tha God, his reaction was swift and pointed. As the host of The Breakfast Club, Charlamagne has built his reputation on straight talk and cultural commentary, making his take on Sharpe's situation particularly noteworthy. Charlamagne didn't mince words when discussing the report. "Man, I hope it's not true for Shannon's sake," he said during his broadcast. "When you're talking about $100 million, that's not just money. That's legacy. That's security. That's opportunity." He went on to analyze how these massive media deals work and the potential pitfalls that even savvy business minds can encounter in negotiations. "The game changes when you add zeros," Charlamagne noted. "Sometimes people around you might not have the expertise to navigate deals at that level. I've seen it happen too many times in this industry, where someone thinks they're making a power move, but they're actually leaving life-changing money on the table." Charlamagne's measured take stands in stark contrast to the reactions from 2 of social media's most controversial figures, Wack 100 and Charleston White. Both men seized the opportunity to weigh in on Sharpe's rumored financial misstep, though their approaches veered decidedly into trolling territory. Wack 100, a music manager and social media personality known for his controversial takes and industry beefs, didn't waste time jumping into the fray. "Shannon talking about all that financial literacy on his show, but can't close a $100 million deal?" Wack posted on social media, along with laughing emojis. "This why athletes need to stay in their lane. Media game different than running routes." His comments sparked immediate backlash from Sharpe supporters, who pointed out that Wack 100's own business dealings haven't always been above criticism. But Wack doubled down, creating multiple posts speculating about why Sharpe might have walked away from such a substantial payday. "Either bad advice or ego," he claimed. "Either way, somebody fumbled the bag of the century." Charleston White, a former gang member turned social commentator known for his inflammatory statements, took an even more provocative approach. In a live stream that quickly went viral, White questioned Sharpe's business acumen while incorporating personal jabs about everything from his speech patterns to his fashion choices. "Shannon out here dressing like he got $100 million, but passing on $100 million? White said between bursts of his signature laugh. "Make it make sense. This the same man giving everybody financial advice on his podcast. I guess the advice is how to lose money, not make it." White's comments, while gaining traction online, were widely condemned as opportunistic and lacking substance. Several sports journalists noted that White seemed more interested in generating views than offering any meaningful insight into the situation. The stark difference between Charlamagne's analysis and the trolling from Wack 100 and Charleston White highlights a broader dynamic in today's media landscape. While substantive commentary requires research and nuance, provocative hot takes and mockery often generate more immediate engagement online, a reality that Sharpe himself has discussed on his own platforms. What makes this story particularly compelling is the contrast between Sharpe's public persona and the current speculation. Throughout his media career, Sharpe has positioned himself as financially savvy, often discussing wealth building and smart money management. He frequently references his humble beginnings in rural Georgia and how he strategically built his brand and investments since retiring from football. "I didn't come from money, so I don't play with money," Sharpe once said during an interview. "Every dollar has a purpose in my world." This philosophy makes the idea that he would walk away from $100 million particularly jarring to his audience. However, without confirmation from Sharpe or his team, it's impossible to know the full story. There could be contractual clauses, creative control issues, or long-term considerations that aren't apparent to outside observers. The timing of this story is especially interesting given the rapidly evolving sports media landscape. Traditional networks are battling streaming platforms for talent, and nine-figure deals, while still rare, are becoming more common for personalities who can bring established audiences with them. Sharpe, with his millions of social media followers and proven track record of viral moments, represents exactly the kind of cross-platform star that companies are willing to break the bank for. "The value isn't just in the content someone like Shannon creates," explained a sports media analyst. "It's in the community they've built." Fans follow personalities now more than networks or platforms. This reality has created a seller's market for top-tier sports media talent, making the idea that Sharpe would walk away from such an offer even more puzzling to industry insiders. Some have speculated that he might have multiple offers on the table, or perhaps is holding out for even better terms, though $100 million would already place him among the highest-paid sports commentators in history. As the story continues to develop, the reactions from figures like Charlamagne, Wack 100, and Charleston White reveal much about how success and failure are perceived and discussed in today's media environment. Charlamagne's more measured approach acknowledges the complexity of high-level negotiations and the incomplete information available publicly. Meanwhile, the trolling from Wack 100 and White represents the knee-jerk rush to judgment and mockery that often dominates social media discourse.